I don't know the meaning of a good day.
Okay.
For me, every day is equal.
Right, I drove a taxi more or less from about sometime 1980 up until 1983. My personal history is one of human rights issues, just in general, civil rights, human rights. I was working for a grassroots political organization, which is how I started driving the cab. Now we're talking about in the 70s, and then as that began to fall apart, I mean, it was a Marxist organization, to tell you the truth, but that began to fall apart, and I just had to get a gig. Back in those days, they would hire anybody, and back then there was only a few cab companies in the city, and or at least major companies, and so I just went down to a yellow cab garage at 34th and Grays Ferry back in those days, and signed up. And I went out that night, yeah.
Couple of years after I come in this country, and my job, I didn't want to work for in a convenience stores and other. I borrow money and I bought this taxi. From that day up to now, I serve myself with this business. And my wife and my children, I used to feed them. Still, we help each other. I had a very nice job before I joined. I come over here, or I left home long ago because of political reasons. I used to work in the Ministry of Finance, like what you call here RIS. I was an employee of the government until Haile Selassie overthrown. Then from then we revolt against the communist government. We waged the war against the system. Finally they defeat us. We disperse everyone who opposed that system.
I was always on the move. I would pick up anybody. I mean, it wasn't that I was cautious, but I was never afraid. There was one time I'm convinced that this guy and his girlfriend were going to rob me, but the radio in the cab threw them off.
Spits come in the spits.
You may have a bad luck and a good luck to pick up a good jobs, and sometimes to face bad customer too. You could be one of a bad customer if you take, if you hire a taxi, the way you approach to your driver, you may not be in a good mood in talking and communicating. The breakage of a communication makes you bad and good.
I just felt that I knew the rhythm of people. It's almost like being a bartender. You find the same kind of interaction in terms of people, if you ever talk to the bartenders. But those two professions tend to elicit intimacy from total strangers. It's not inconceivable that a person can get into a cab and not even see your face. To them, you are anonymous.
I'm important as any other human being, but you cannot say I'm important for the people. Let the people tell about you. There is no better job than the job you are doing now. You know, it's a question of a life. No one intends to. I don't have a word to define. You couldn't dream that you would be taxi driver. When the time forces you or the situation forces you, you can take any job until you get a better chance.